about 3:30 or so in the afternoon. The plan for attack is we're going to start with an artillery bombardment. Alexander's artillery is going to try to soften up the Union position. Then Hood's division is going to attack, and it's going to be followed up with McLaws' division. It's going to be an echelon attack where the common thought is about waves on the shore. So it's going to start on the far right. Hood's division is set up in two lines. On the far right, he has Evander Law, and Jerome Robertson is in this area in here. Behind this line of Hood's division is his two other brigades, both of Georgians. Henry Bennings is behind Lafayette McLaws, Evander Law rather, and George Anderson, Tig Anderson, is behind this first line of Robertson. Anderson's brigade is going to be the first attack into the wheat field. Anderson's brigade is going to be the only brigade, north or south, that's going to be involved in all of the fighting in the wheat field. Fighting in the wheat field is going to last for approximately close to 3 hours, beginning around 4 o'clock, going to a little bit more, closer to 7:30. They're going to be the only one that's involved. Ultimately, there's going to be about 20,000 soldiers firing shots in anger in the wheat field. It's not all at the same time, however. And there's going to be, it's called, some refer to it as a vortex, or whirlpool, where units are going to be constantly coming into the fight and trying to win one side or the other. The wheat field will swap hands a number of times, depending on who you listen to. There's any times from 3 times to 6 times. Union takes over, Confederate takes over, Union takes over. Ultimately, at the end of the day, nobody's going to be in control of the wheat field itself. The wheat field is about 26 acres of wheat, owned by George Rose. The wheat field action, the battle for the wheat field, does not just encompass those 26 acres of wheat. It also encompasses the Rose Woods, and we're going to see what the Rose Woods is. It also encompasses close up to the peach orchard, along the Wheatfield Road, the Stony Hill. So there's some big territory that's involved in the wheat field fighting. But Anderson's brigade is going to be the only one that actually gets into is there for the entire time of the fighting. Anderson's brigade is comprised, as I said, of Georgians, and they're going to be placed in that line. They're about 150 yards behind us. Again, we're not going to walk into the woods there to see where their line was, but they're going to be about 150 yards behind us here, and they're going to be heading there. The big round top is the big one on the right-hand side. The open faced one is Little Round Top, and the wheat field is in that direction there. So you got big round top, little round top, and the wheat field. Law's brigade is going to be heading toward the big round tops in large part because of skirmishers. Company B of the 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters are out in all of those fields out in there, and their job is to slow up the Confederate attack. So the artillery fire starts up about 3:30. The bombardment back and forth with Union artillery. Union artillery is placed along the Wheatfield Road, and we'll see those positions later on this afternoon. There are some that's located in there. They're going to fire away back and forth, and then ultimately the Confederate attack, the infantry attack, will start about 4 o'clock. And so it's going to be Law and Robertson taking their 2 brigades across those open fields. Ultimately, as the attack moves, about 200 yards behind him is supposed to be Benning and Anderson. When Robertson gets close to the triangular field, and it's going to be one of our stops to see that area in there, when Robertson gets up there, his attack starts stalling out. And so he's going to send word back, he's going to send a courier back to James Longstreet. Longstreet's position is going to be when we turned onto this road here. We came up Millerstown Road, we made a right-hand turn. That's going to be where Longstreet's going to be during the afternoon. And so he sends a courier back to Longstreet, and Robertson sends a courier back to his support, which is George Anderson, saying, come on up, I need support. And of course, this entire day for the Confederacy is going to be, as they attack, you're going to look for your support to your left as we work up the line. And so Anderson now is going to start off. Anderson has on his left, he's got the 9th Georgia, the 8th Georgia, the 11th Georgia, and the 59th Georgia. And they're going to be heading in that direction. He's missing one regiment, the 7th Georgia Regiment. 7th Georgia Regiment has 400 men in it. And he's missing them because where are they? They're about a mile south on the Emmitsburg Road. And why are they there? They're there because Jeb Stuart is not here. Jeb Stuart's not here, and what's the function of the Confederate cavalry? What's the function of the Union cavalry? To be the eyes and ears and to be on the flanks in case there's going to be a movement against the flanks. And so the 7th Georgia, the 400 men of that regiment, are actually acting as cavalry screens at the Kearns house about a mile south of here. They don't engage on July 2nd. One of the great what ifs. What if you add another 400 guys to the initial attack on the wheat field? I think it makes a difference, but we don't know that. So 9th Georgia, 8th Georgia, 11th Georgia, 59th Georgia, they start heading in that direction, going in support of Beverly Robertson's brigade that's having problems up in the triangular field. Okay. Questions from the area right in here. Our next stop, we're going to go up by the triangular field, up on top of Devil's Den, and talk about this movement as they come across these open fields. Again, one of the other things, if we were coming here in November and December, our next stop would be down in those fields, and we'd walk across to get to Timbers Foundation. But ticks, time, weather, we're not doing it.